Hello, welcome to another episode of The Art of the Flip. Let's talk about margin. If I'm buying something for my own personal collection, I take 10%, 20% discount. Okay, I'll be thrilled or happy to obtain anything under fair market value. It's human nature. The bigger, the better. And but that also depend on the type of books. The bigger the keys, the more significant the keys, the less the potential discount. Okay, unless borrowing complete fluke of luck, I'm not gonna find a Hope 181 or Amazing Fantasy 15 in a garage sales. But if I was, buying a Fantastic Four #1 or X-Men 1 for my own personal collection, if I can get a price 10 or 15% below fair market value for any particular grade that I'm looking for, I'm happy with that. Now for non-key books, for my own personal collection, being a cheapo that I am, I try to get it at least 30, 40, 50% below fair market value, because patience usually wins out and I can find a cheap copy in the grade that I want, especially for non-keys. There is no rush to pay up for anything, but that's just the way I am. Now, as far as flipping, I have a target in mind of how much I'm willing to pay for anything, because I factor in is anyone that buy a book or a collection to sell for profit, you must take into account how much it's going to cost you to sell that, whether you have to use eBay or slap the book, the cost of slabbing, or give PayPal 3%. Everything have to factor in as far as the cost of transaction. Okay, so when I sit here and look at a book and trying to figure out if it's worth my time to flip or not, I need to factor in what the cost of me buying the book and what the likelihood that I can sell it raw, or do I have to slab it, or can I sell it by myself, or do I need to consign a book. There's a lot of scenario that go into my brain whenever I approach flipping a book. I don't just buy it and say to myself, I can sell this for a higher price. I need to figure out what is the cost of selling and where to sell it first, okay? And it's with book for my personal collection. The bigger the keys, the more significant the books, the harder it is to get a deep discount, okay? I'm not gonna be able to find a Hook 181 from a dealer and get a 25% value below fair market value. What's the art of that, right? So it's not as easy. It's easier to buy non-keys books. I focus on non-key books more than key books, because for non-keys on eBay, often I can find a lot of worthy book to flip for 50% of the value. That's my target, okay? I would love to pay for a book 60, 70, 80, 90% below fair market value, but there's a 50% threshold. Sure, occasionally I would pay a little bit more than 50% to get a certain books or a collection, but for me, that is where the bogey is, okay? For example, if a book is worth $200 in a slab, okay, and I saw a raw book, the most I'm willing to pay for that book would be roughly around $100. Why? Well, first, let's say I was able to obtain that book for 100. If I had to slap that book in order to get a $200 price tag on that, it will cost me at least 25, maybe even 30 or 35. Okay, on top of that, if you factor in giving eBay 10%, okay, that's $20. So right now you already eat away $45 to $50 of the proceed, and then PayPal take another 3.5–4%. Okay, that's another 4%, $8 roughly. So buying a book for 100, slab it, selling on eBay, paying PayPal fee. At the end of the day, I might pocket anywhere from $25 to $35, roughly, give or take, depend on if I can bypass eBay or sell it privately. So you see why it's important to not cross the 50% threshold. For me, I'm not saying other people use the same guideline, but for me, it's tough for me to buy anything, above 50% and expect to make a decent return on that flip. That being said, sometimes 20% on a big book is worth doing it. Okay, if you buy a book for $5,000, let's say you get an X-Men 1 5.0, and you, by luck, you got it for 10 or 15% below fair market value, and you can turn around and sell it privately to somebody without having to use an auction house or eBay and make 10% of that. Hey, 10% of a $5,000 book is a quick $500 in my pocket, right? So to summarize, the bigger the books, the more I'm willing to pay, the higher I'm willing to pay, and the smaller margin I'm willing to take. But for the average book, non-keys, everyday stuff, high-grade bronze or high-grade silver, I try to shoot for that 50% bogey, because for me, anything, if I pay more, then sometimes it's not worth the hassle, because after I slap the books, pay a commission to sell the books, PayPal fee, all that stuff, I end up with enough profit to pay for a cup of coffee. So I hope this episode was useful. I'd be happy to answer other questions, any specific question, to those that have any specific questions in flipping. So if you have questions that I have not addressed in any of the videos so far, leave a comment and I will try to address those specific questions in future flipping video. Thanks for watching.